If you've ever watched a toddler grip your hand at the threshold of a new classroom and refuse to let go, you know exactly how stressful the first day of school can be for both of you. That hesitation is a completely logical, evolutionary response. A 2-year-old's brain is designed to seek safety. When they encounter the sudden noise, scale, and unpredictability of a massive new environment, their sensory system triggers a natural defense mechanism. Instead of prying a child away from their parents, School Mastermind uses a highly specific warm morning welcome protocol. The goal is to ease the transition by respecting the child's psychological boundaries. Scaling a room down into segmented, micro-classroom zones limits visual clutter and muffles ambient noise. Removing those overwhelming sensory inputs allows a child to focus on the immediate, manageable space around them, helping them feel secure enough to begin exploring. Maintaining that sense of security requires a precise level of adult supervision. A child needs to feel seen to feel secure. This school profile document shows exactly how they guarantee that attention. They cap every class at a maximum of 9 students, guided by 2 teachers and 1 supporting staff member. By delegating classroom logistics to the support staff, the 2 lead teachers are entirely freed up. They can get down to eye level, observe individual behavior, and focus entirely on emotional connection with the students. When the physical scale, personnel ratio, and emotional support are aligned, the environment moves from a source of stress to a foundation of safety. It's this sense of security that gives a child the confidence to step away from a parent and try something new. Once the child is safely inside, the drop-off anxiety is immediately redirected into the first structured activity of the day, circle time. This morning gathering relies heavily on familiar songs, rhymes, and weather checks. Repetition provides predictability. When a toddler knows exactly what happens next, that routine acts as a psychological anchor. This feeds directly into the wider philosophy of play-based learning. Early childhood education doesn't happen through rigid lectures or high-pressure worksheets. It happens through guided exploration. When a child is squishing clay, mixing finger paints, or splashing in a water bin, they are deeply engaged in sensory play. They are performing targeted exercises to develop fine motor control and texture awareness while they play. The same logic applies to storytelling. These sessions do a lot of heavy lifting for cognitive development. Sitting for a story builds attention span, sequential logic, and early vocabulary without feeling like a lesson. Over the course of the year, those communication goals scale up methodically. A child progresses from recognizing single words to forming 2-word phrases and eventually speaking in full, confident sentences. Every session, from the finger painting to the rhymes, is a building block in a wider developmental protocol. By the time the final story is told, the structure of the day has shifted the child's focus. From the anxiety of arrival to a genuine interest in the world around them. Once that emotional security is firmly established, the curriculum begins to layer in structured, foundational academics. This curriculum map details rigorous early years foundation stage and Montessori principles. October's goals show specific, measurable targets for numeracy and language. In the weekly plan, abstract goals like counting are mapped onto tangible daily tasks, like matching puzzle pieces or stamping shapes into clay. Physical development is treated with the exact same academic weight. Activities like the yoga butterfly pose and gross motor relay races are scheduled right alongside letter recognition to ensure holistic growth. True school readiness requires cognitive, physical, and emotional challenges to advance together, carefully tailored to match the developmental pace of the individual child. Of course, for parents, dropping a child off creates an immediate blind spot. It is incredibly difficult to know if your child is actually engaging with these activities or retreating into their shell. This verified talking point document outlines how the school closes that information gap. Parents receive a detailed learning update every single week. These updates track social behavior, classroom participation, and new skills. They rely entirely on everyday, low-pressure observation by the teachers, avoiding the stress of formal psychological or medical assessments. This creates a transparent feedback loop. When parents know exactly which numbers, songs, or social habits are being practiced at school, those exact routines can be mirrored at home to reinforce the behavior. By the end of the year, the transformation is obvious. The same child who cried at the doorway now walks in with confidence, completely capable of following instructions, sharing with peers, and exploring independently. A great preschool doesn't demand that a child adapt to the building. It designs the entire experience to adapt to the child. To see this environment in action and start your child's journey, visit the Play School Mastermind campus in Sector 12, Uttara today.